This thing is dope, man.
Dude, I just picked up these microphones in early October.
Yeah.
Sponsorships are like really helping.
For real? Good, man.
It's like buying new gear. Got Madam Brian headphones and shit, and it's like
Yeah, Bose is hooking it up.
yeah, no. We just buy it. You know?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I wish.
Yeah.
Fuck, I wish we were that. You know, that popular.
Yeah.
Just gotta roll with the punches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah, Matt. Whenever you're ready, dude.
Yeah, whenever you guys are ready.
All right, let's go. Good. Yep. Eric, welcome back to the show, bro.
All right.
I didn't think it'd be so soon, actually.
I know. I feel like a local here now.
It almost is like you're local. I mean, for you to come back so soon after the drop. Let's start off with the album. So before you left the album, you were just still promoting the album, and then the album dropped in what, June?
Right. Yeah, June.
And what was sort of the reception of, you know, at least the listener base or the fan base, because you haven't dropped an album in a couple years.
Yeah. We usually drop an album every 2 years. That seems to be the pattern since we got started, or since our first album, Courage to Grow, in 2007, I believe. So, but it's great. I mean, our fans are, the Rebelution fans are pretty accepting of anything we try. I feel like, you know, we started out as like a primarily roots reggae band and started incorporating other genres into the mix. And so the latest album, Free Reign, which came out in June 2018, it's kind of like a mix of, you know, different genres, similar to our last few albums.
Right.
But we were like super hands-on with this album, and I think...
but I noticed the lyrics are really happy.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
Just the feeling when you listen to it. Your music has always been positive, right?
Yeah.
But now it's just you can hear the happiness in the words.
Right
at
on.
least. I mean, I don't know how that's I'm interpreting it. And when I first heard it, when I first heard City Life, I was like convinced. Maybe I was like, oh man, I wonder if the second verse is about Guam.
Yeah, right.
And then you came back a second and third time. I was like, this is about Guam. It's for sure. It has to be.
I mean, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't thinking about some sort of like tropical island. So, I mean, that's where I like to be when I'm not touring. I like to be on a beach somewhere. I mean, Guam, I love the culture here. I love the weather. I love just getting in the water. I've been so lucky to come here and just like experience things on a local level, just between hanging out with you guys and you know, friends that feel like family at this point.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, city life, you know, I live in San Francisco, right? So, you know, it gets a little hectic. Traffic is insane. And then, yeah, all I could think about was just getting out and coming, you know, some place like this.
So that's my sort of interpretation of city life. But yeah, like I said, extremely positive, just happy. I mean, happy lyrics, dude. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I listened to it, and then I was listening to it this morning. You know, I kind of just made another run through with the album, and I was like, damn, okay.
Yeah, I mean, for me, you know, not every song is like has happy, uplifting, positive lyrics. You know, I think music is just another artistic form of expression where you can tell a story, you know, and so every song kind of has its own story. But typically I would say, you know, my goal as a musician, our goal in Rebelution as a person in general, I just want to uplift people. And so I think, you know, for the most part, I'm trying to put out positive lyrics and happy lyrics, just like you said.
Right. What I guess, okay, so what sort of brings you back here? We were at the show, and me and my girlfriend were like, goodness, I can't believe because when you played the last time in the 420 show, we were literally like 300 feet away at the barbecue pit watching from afar.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're within a couple feet from you. Dude, this is like really surreal. You know, so
yeah.
What is the reasons that bring you back to at least consistently brings you back to the island?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been really fortunate to meet an incredible girl in my life that is from here. Yeah. But
there's something they say about island girls, but Chamorro island girls.
Yeah.
it's a eye-catching thing, man.
It's a thing, yeah, I know. But but beyond her, I mean, I've made some amazing friends, and I've just really been so fortunate to get a full Chamorro experience, and I haven't traveled the entire island. I know it's small, but there's a lot to see here, and there's a lot of people to meet, and there's a lot of amazing things to learn about this culture.
Yeah, what are you sort of seeing in the culture? I mean, you've traveled the world experiencing different cultures, but now Guam has attached you to it, or attached its heart to you,
Yeah.
your heart, right? And it's what is it about it that makes it so, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean,
from
there's
the inside, I can't see it.
yeah, well,
I think from me, I can't. But
there's a lot. I mean, first of all, the cuisine is pretty interesting here.
Yeah.
Like Calaguin and Denancy. I'm a big spicy fan, so like I'm all about that. Golai Hagansuni, you know what I mean?
Oh,
I'm getting into it, but
getting excited.
it is, yeah, and this is a pretty spiritual place. I mean, you meet Chamorro people that do not live on this island.
Right.
So what we were talking about before this even started, off the record, and it's very cool to see like how much pride like Chamorros have, like in one way or another. Both people that have been to Guam, and then other people that have never actually been to Guam but have Chamorro descent, right? So.
Right.
But I find it really interesting the ancestry here. How far back the Chamorro people go in the Northern Marianas Islands,
Right.
and how many different times it's been overtaken by outsiders. And then like when you come to Guam, you have like this kind of big melting pot of like people from all around, right? It's not just people that are from Chamorros. It's you have Filipino, you have Korean, you have Japanese tourists, you have people from the Chuk Islands. I mean, and this is stuff I think a lot of people. I mean, most of my friends don't even know where Guam is. Like
Right.
when you meet people out in the mainland, like
maybe like 75% people know where Guam is because of North Korea, but prior to that, it was like 20%.
Yeah.
We would go out there and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm from Guam." Be like, Guatemala, like like Central America. Like,
Yeah.
no, Guam in the Pacific. Like, what the hell is that?
Yeah. A lot of people don't even know it's part of the United States, honestly.
Right.
And people don't know who the Chamorro people are. They don't even know Chamorro is a language that was spoken. They don't know where it is. They say, is it like Hawaii? Is it close to Hawaii? Is it a Hawaiian island? I mean, it's like it goes on and on. Like there's so like, people don't really know about this amazing place. And
Like a naivety, or is that even a word? Just being naive, or ignorance, right?
Just, I mean, well, Guam is a tiny place, right?
Okay.
But it's got a big footprint. And the more time I've really spent here, the more I really just feel that from the people. I mean, the language is beautiful. The history is incredible.
Yeah.
I find it really interesting the way that people here have preserved the culture. And it seems like to me in 2018, there's this kind of big, I mean, you could tell me if I'm wrong, but it seems like there's this need and this desire to kind of bring back like the language a little bit.
Yeah.
Someone told me like, people are starting to learn it in schools, right? It's become a requirement again. Whereas, it seemed like during the World Wars, like Chamorro was abolished, right? Like it was like you weren't allowed to speak the language, right?
Right. So after the war and the Americans came and put, just turned Guam into a territory, a lot of children speaking in schools weren't allowed to speak in the schools. It was sort of like English only, right? It's almost like, and that goes with any culture that has been dominated over another culture by another culture, right? They don't want you to be speaking in your native tongue because you can speaking secrets or deception, or right, or you can be plotting. But this sort of revival started to come around in 2016. There was the Festival of the Pacific Arts, and it was held here on Guam for the very first time in its history. I think 1973. I don't know if you want to confirm that, Matt. But so finally, after 25 years, or however long it's been, they brought it to Guam, and everyone started showcase. It's a showcase of your culture, right? And people started to realize how much of our culture we've lost here over the years. Not only because of the Americans coming in or whatever. That's not even a main factor. It's a lot of things. Diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
People continually leave Guam to find better opportunity and never come back. Right? And it's sadly it's happening today, but people are starting to realize there's more and more opportunity here. It just has to be created. Right?
Yeah.
And Guam is as a place where the new frontier is still available, right? People are coming from off island to come here to establish themselves, making small businesses and stuff. But also you're seeing a lot of locals who are realizing that too.
I've been really lucky. The fact that the music has spread all the way to Guam. I feel like a lot of our fans out here are come from, or actually, born and raised here, and so it's pretty incredible for me to have the music just travel that far, and I get to do what I love to do, and I get to come to a beautiful island and just experience the culture. I'm just so blessed.
Since you guys came out, dude. Since you guys came onto the scene, you guys have been here.
Well,
when was the first time you guys were here again? Like
2008 probably?
Yeah. See,
10 years ago. I know. It's crazy.
You were only a year out, and people were like, all right, let's bring this band to Guam.
And that first show at Jigo Amusement Park, I mean, I'm going to remember that forever. At the time, it was one of the biggest shows we had played to date. And
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about this last time, but, Safe and Sound became like a hit song on the radio that summer or whatever, and I think we had like 5,000-6,000 people there. But, it's funny. I was walking through a Payless supermarket this morning, and one of the guys that works there stopped me. He's like, "Eric from Rebelution, is that you?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Man, that concert at Jigo back in 2008 was one, like, people talked about that to this day. People talk about it and stuff. Like, it was one of the biggest concerts, I mean, we were just an independent band. I mean, we still are, but we were a tiny band back then. I didn't even know what I was doing. I don't think we had any a crew with us. We would set up our own equipment then. We were just excited to be all the way here in Guam to play. I mean, it was definitely an amazing experience, and I remember being super nervous when I saw how big the crowd was.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. The secrets come out about the show. Yeah, but going back to the culture, I just don't want to discredit like the people who have been fighting for culture over the many, many years, because there have, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was just like a better part of the population was sort of just turned a blind eye to it, and just very distracted as to what is going on. And now it's much bigger and it's much louder than it's ever been. And that's I think I mean, from what you said, I mean, you can see it. If you can see it, then it's definitely making some noise, right?
Absolutely. It's special. I mean, like I said, there's not a lot of people that know about Guam, and I'm honored to be able to play here. I'm honored that people like the music that, I'm writing and recording and creating, but I feel like I really want to share what this island has to offer. And like from an outsider, I know that might not be the most like authentic like way to spread like a culture, but I feel like a lot of people have really embraced me here and really welcomed me in. And I feel like I owe a lot to.
You're Eric, bro.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
Someone you'll probably like accidentally cut someone off, right? And they'll be like, "Yo, bro, you wanna? Oh shit, you're Eric, aren't you? Oh, dude, it's all good, dog."
And this island is small. The more I spend time here, the more someone's related to somebody who's a cousin of someone else. I mean, I'm sure everywhere you go, you see someone that you know.
Oh yeah, for sure, man, for sure. And yeah, like you said, the more time you spend, you're gonna notice like. You go to the store at the same time as someone else, like, oh man, the store again, huh?
Yeah, right. Well, I find it interesting, like, if you have so many friends and family that you see every day, and if you run a business, like, everyone probably wants to get hooked up, right? Mm-hmm. And so you kind of have to say no to everybody, right? And because there's just too many people that, too many friends and family.
Yeah, dude, I have 63 first cousins, bro.
Wow.
And it's probably just a little bit more than that on my dad's side.
Wow.
That's one side, And it's you're right. You can't give everyone jobs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we own like a family business and stuff, and started by my grandfather. And dude, it's just that's what we grew up around is the
Yeah.
cousins all the time, right? And in the States, your nearest cousin is maybe like 20, 50, 100 miles away,
Yeah, totally.
if at that.
Yeah.
Right?
Everything's a little more spread out for
Right.
sure.
Yeah. So I mean, here you can still feel and see that whole tight knit. A lot of my family has dispersed from Guam, and moved out to the States, and but you can still find families when they get together. It's like, fuck, they get together, and they can still throw big parties. They can still have a table with 20 dishes, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's cooking, everyone's donating, and just to make a Christmas event happen or a birthday party event happen, and it's really cool.
Yeah, totally.
But the more and more I do this podcast, I've literally like sort of connected myself with so many people over the last going on 4 years, right? So, the it feels like Guam has sort of gotten smaller for me, like even smaller for me. It was already small, and now that like I can connect this person with this person with this person with this person is like it's mind blowing. And
Yeah.
and I owe it all to this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you have become part of that sort of like ring network, and it's cool. It goes even from there was a guy, his name's Jay Castro, born and raised in San Francisco, never been to Guam in his whole life, and this past July he brought himself and 13 other people from his family to come to Guam.
Wow.
They stayed in Maritzo. Someone in Maritzo found out that they were staying there, found out who their relatives were, had a mini family reunion in Tamuning, and it was because he listened to my podcast.
No way.
Yeah, man.
That's amazing.
And he was able to connect with Poly-Eric Forbes. I've had Poly-Eric Forbes. He's our local, he's a Franciscan priest, and he's basically the historian of Guam. He has access to all the old church records from the Spanish times, and he spends a lot of his time reading it and studying it. And he has a blog that gets like thousands of views, a post, and basically telling the background of almost every local family.
Wow.
Family here on Guam, if you date back to like the 1800s.
Crazy.
Yeah, so he was able to connect with him because he's like, listen to my podcast, and it's like, and it's awesome. It's awesome that this thing has gone beyond me and started connecting other people beyond my reach, right?
That's amazing.
And
how does that make you feel?
oh man,
I'm gonna interview you for a second.
Sure. It makes me feel good, because I've spent a lot of time on this, and I've put a lot of time and just a lot of people who listen to my show know that it took me 10 months to start this show. I've always been like a half introverted, half extroverted. Like I sing and play music. I was performing at the local bars and stuff like that. But to put my thoughts and my mind on a medium where people can easily judge me was like super hard.
Yeah.
Right. And just the fact that I pursued it and executed it, and it's turned into what it has turned in today, makes me feel really, really good inside, and makes it feel worth it. I mean, just the fact that we can sit here and have a conversation and Matt gets something out of it.
Yeah.
Whenever our guests leave, it's like me and him would talk. Like, what do you think about it? Like, bro,
Yeah.
it's a good conversation. I learned some shit.
Yeah.
And it's cool. I just want to continue to spread that sort of knowledge that we have here. The kind of minds that are working here physically and mentally, to bring up this island. Was it Dr. Mike Bavacqua? This was many episodes ago. He said that someone told him one of the most prideful people in the military right now are people from Guam. You won't find anyone else who would hang up their state flag the way Guam hangs their flag, right under that U.S. flag. And it's there's something happening here on Guam.
Definitely.
Something is definitely happening. I don't know what it is. And I tell people all the time, I'm like trying to leave, like I've been trying to leave for like 8 years, but there's always something that's keeping me here. And now that I did this podcast, it's like now it's definitely like more eye opening.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, I think, yeah, like I was saying, there's such a big footprint. Guam has such a big footprint, and there's this real sense of pride, right? Like, and it's not just the people that have grown up here. It's the Chamorros that live outside of Guam. I had no idea that. I think is it maybe more Chamorros live outside of Guam than in Guam? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean this.
And I would think fivefold.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's not like one thing we have to remember though. It's not only Chamorros now, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like Guamanians, like you said. There's Koreans, Chinese, Japanese, Filipinos, blacks, whites, Russians who come here and make their life here, and they sort of put themselves into the culture, right? Those who choose to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if in a place like this, if you don't insert yourself into the culture, you're gonna hate it. Because I've met people who don't like this place. They're like, I want to there's nothing here. I want to get off this place. It's so hard to do this. It's so hard to do that. Like, dude, don't you realize we're in the fucking middle of the Pacific Ocean? Before you had to go on a ship and ride that ship for 3 months just to get to the Philippines, dude.
Yeah.
And we're getting information now at like a second.
Mm-hmm.
Information from the U.S. will take a year. Like, I'm going to be a little older the next time you see me.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but it's definitely alive and well. The language is sort of struggling. It's very old language, and it's not like a language that everybody uses. I was telling someone the other day, I was like, Tagalog, the Filipino language, Tagalog is going to be a worldwide language one day.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
Guarantee it. Anywhere you go, you'll find someone who of Filipino descent in any corner of the world.
Yeah.
That's just a guess, too.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like Guam has become a melting pot. California is very similar. I grew up in San Francisco, where there's so many different languages being spoken around you, know, and not just San Francisco, I guess the Bay Area and, California in general. But I think there's this need to like preserve culture, and, with the Native Americans in California, they had their culture, their language stripped away as well, and, there's this kind of like, I get the need to revive that, you don't want to lose that. It's, I've always been a big advocate for culture, I always felt that if people can see the beauty in the differences, it will bring us closer together. My mom was
Can you just pull the mic down?
Oh yeah.
No, just pull it down with you.
Oh, okay.
If you're gonna just.
Yeah. No, my mom, raised me to observe world dance and world music, and I found that by looking at these different art forms, I was able to just really appreciate like the difference, right? And unfortunately, in the media, we see just, under the current administration, there's a lot of phobia for different cultures, and there's nothing stated about the beauty of different cultures, right? And I grew up like seeing all these amazing practices, religious practices, cultural practices, art, dance, music, and I'm like, wow, can't everybody see this and understand there's more to just what you see, on your TV screen, right?
Yeah.
Probably went on a little tangent right there, but it's just, it's nice to see, like, I think things get a little boring and stagnant when it's just the same thing over and over again. Like, I don't want to eat the same food every single day of my life. I want to try different cuisines from all around the world. Like, I want to see different art forms. I mean, it's exciting. It's like, we get bored of doing the same thing all the time. We want to, at least I want to experience as much as I can, meet as many people as I can, hear as many different languages as I possibly can. And honestly, that's been like my main goal.
Have you traveled any part of Asia yet?
I've been to Thailand, Vietnam.
Do you have a fan base out there?
I think we have a fan base most places, but
Yeah.
you know, uh,
It's kind of tricky with the Asia region.
yeah, I think our biggest fan base is actually Indonesia.
Really?
Yeah, I saw someone sent me a link of a lady singing "Safe and Sound" on like an America's Got Talent version of Indonesia, or
Okay.
like some sort of like talent
Talent
show.
show.
Yeah, and she's saying "Safe and Sound," and it was the one where like the judges like are in a chair and they're like not facing the artist, right?
Oh, like The Voice.
Yeah, it was
The
like The
Voice.
Voice.
Right,
It's The
right.
Voice Indonesia, I think.
Okay.
And they're listening to this woman sing "Safe and Sound," and the judges are like, yeah, this sounds good, and then finally one judge, hits his button, the chair turns, and all three of the other judges do the same thing, and she goes on to the next round.
Can you
And
see if you can pull that up?
yeah, it's pretty cool. And of course, I don't think the lady even speaks English, but she was singing "Safe and Sound." And
Isn't it crazy how people who don't speak English can perfectly execute English when they sing it in music?
Yeah,
It's the strangest thing to me, man.
it is. It's crazy. It's just crazy that people can. I mean, that just proves my point. Like you don't have to sing in the same language. I saw another clip of this cover band performing "Safe and Sound" in Indonesia, and they do the intro that like we do live. They like studied our live intro to "Safe and Sound" on YouTube or something, and they recreated it. And they pan out, and it's this like kind of mini festival in this like courtyard area, and there must be like 300, 400 kids just singing every lyric to the song and going nuts. And at that point, I was like, wow. I hit up my manager. I said, what's going on? Like, how did this get to Indonesia? Like, we got to get a show out
What
there.
year was this?
This was probably maybe 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
This clip that we just saw maybe is a couple years old at this point. But
And Safe and Sound was written over 10 years ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah. But I mean, this stuff, this is so cool. Like, that still trips me out that people can, hear our music from across the world and recreate it. And yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, it seems like you guys came out like at the perfect time. I can't remember if I mentioned that the last time we spoke, but during the advent of YouTube, right? And then social media and sort of everything, marketing became easier then, yeah?
Definitely. We came up at the right time, where exactly like you said, where we could stream our music online, have it be heard for free, right?
Yeah, put it on their MySpace page.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got, I was lucky because back in the day, you needed a record label to get behind you and push your music out using their resources, get it in Tower Records and whatnot, and that kind of stuff, which I went to as a kid all the time. If I heard a song on the radio, I went straight to Tower Records and I bought the single, or I bought, a CD when CDs came out. When I first started buying music, it was CDs were actually just kind of coming out.
Yeah.
I'm old, and there were still tapes at one side of the record store, and then CDs was the new thing. People were starting to get CD players.
The Walkman.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
I definitely had a Walkman.
Discman. There you go. Discman.
Yeah. Yeah, Walkman might have been the tape, and
Tape.
Discman was the CDs.
Right,
yeah.
right.
And it was like this huge, heavy thing, and you had to replace the batteries every like 2 seconds. And
Matt doesn't know anything about that.
no,
No. He's too young for that. Me, I can relate. I can sort of still relate with you. You know.
Yeah.
Sitting by the boombox, waiting for the radio station to play the right song so you can press record and play at the same time.
Exactly. I think I probably heard Sublime and 311 in that way. I think I heard 311 cover. They played what was that? All Mixed Up. That came on the radio. And I was like, oh man, I'm digging this. And then Sublime came out in 96, 97, and I must have been in 7th grade or something.
Well, the self-titled album came out in 96 or 97 because that's when he died, right?
Right. So they came out way before that, I guess.
Right.
But that's once it hit the radio is when I started hearing it. I was too young to attend one of their shows or anything like that. I only heard about Sublime after Bradley died.
Passed away.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate though. You know what I mean?
It is. Yeah.
I mean, I've been a huge Sublime fan. I forget who introduced me. It might have been my sister's, someone she was with, and the first time I heard it, I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
But I was so used to just Disney Channel music and stuff that they play on the radio, but now this was sort of like entering a different realm and train of thought, like juvenile, right? Or degenerate sort of thinking, or thinking. I don't want to say that. Anytime I say degenerate, it
I
just
know what
sounds
you
so
mean, though.
bad, you know?
No, I know what you mean, and he really captured like a vibe with his music. He represented like a zone, like Long Beach, and clearly he was into the reggae music that he was listening to, and then punk rock music, kind of fused it all together in his own way, sang in his own unique way. I didn't realize that he was so influenced by reggae until I started getting into reggae way later, and I started hearing songs like, oh, this is a bass line that Bradley Noel took, or this is a chorus that Bradley Noel took, but made it his own, his own unique style.
You can sense that in music that you listen to?
That like
certain riffs or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, melodies come really easy to me. So, like, when I hear a progression, I can say, oh, that's like this progression, too, And the more you listen to pop music on the radio and stuff like that, and just, you start to really kind of see a lot of patterns.
Yeah, one of my friends said it's just nursery rhymes.
Yeah.
It's just the tunes to nursery rhymes that we're hearing all over again, stuff that's palatable and we're used to.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean... As far as Rebelution, we keep things really simple. We don't do too much crazy stuff. We just
as far as like progressions and stuff.
Yeah, as far as progressions, and we're not doing crazy time signatures, or we keep it like a pretty simple kind of format, which I like. I really enjoy that. I love a good melody over a nice chord progression. Some of my favorite songs are like that. Some of my favorite songs are just one chord, two chords, and just a great melody. Like every Gregory Isaacs song is, no more than 4 chords and just awesome. I could listen. That's timeless music. So
right. You've sort of created like a culture with your music, right? So, in a sense, you've been spreading culture since you guys broke through the mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Do you consider yourself broken through the mainstream?
I don't.
No?
No.
At least like the reggae mainstream? I mean...
I think maybe, from the United States, I think we have really helped bring it up to the scene that it is today.
Right.
But, I think probably the reggae influence was big here in Guam before it was as big as it is today in California. And it was probably bigger in Hawaii before it was big in California.
Yeah, a lot of the reggae influence here came from Hawaii too. That Hawaiian music.
Definitely, and that I think that wave hit a lot way before us. Island music. I get it, right? I get it. I think what we did was when we came out, we were bringing a lot of roots reggae into whatever, if you want to call it the mainstream reggae movement in the United States. So, Sublime was taking that kind of stuff in dance hall, but they put their own kind of, I don't know how to describe it.
They were still punk rock.
Exactly, yeah. They kind of had that punk rock vibe. We don't really we don't really do a lot of that kind of stuff. Yeah. I think we were taking the roots and the modern kind of roots and putting it into, most of our music when it was coming out had a bubble in it. I don't know if people that don't know what that is. It's like the organ that's like what,
right,
which is a pretty rootsy, they call it a shuffle-in or a bubble. And that was definitely something we took from roots music. Sublime doesn't have a lot of that kind of like organ bubble. So I think it different. But since we started, since we came out. It wasn't just us, there's other bands too that were doing it at the same time and before us too. But I think together there was a movement that brought a lot of roots reggae into the modern scene in the United States. And it kind of, to this day, is still happening. Yeah,
because after Sublime, it was sort of like Slightly Stupid had sort of that branched off of that vibe, right? And then they, even at their shows, it was still more like rockish.
Yeah.
Right. And then you started seeing like bands like Iration come out into the scene, and it's still California reggae, but it's less of the rock scene.
Yeah.
Included into the live show.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely. Stupid's a great example of a band.
Kona.
the dog is dreaming.
Yeah,
huh?
he's dreaming. Yeah.
I've seen clips of dogs, like running in their sleep and then they wake up and run right into a wall.
I think I've seen the same golden retriever clip.
Yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, Stupid's a great example of a band that, man, they have so many different influences, like jam band music, folk music.
Hey, Matt, can you wake him up, dude?
Does he do this a lot?
Not all the time. He's just really in a deep sleep. Go ahead and just.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I wonder what he's like dreaming about, what he's barking at.
Hopefully, he's not dreaming of getting disciplined.
Yeah. That's awesome.
No, sorry, I peed in the house. I'm so sorry.
But one thing I think it makes the scene here in United States, the reggae influence scene special, is that we do have all these other influences, and I think we all really give a lot of credit to the birthplace of reggae music, which is Jamaica, and we're about to go play in Jamaica, do a 4-day festival for the first time called the Brightside Festival. We're gonna put on, and we're super honored to be doing it in Jamaica. We try to big up Jamaica as much as possible. We try to tour with Jamaican artists. We try to just give props, because that influence really, kind of made Rebelution who we are today. Even though we incorporate a lot of different other genres of music, we definitely wouldn't be here without the roots reggae musicians before us.
Yeah, for sure. It's crazy that reggae had to leave Jamaica to get onto a worldwide scale, though, right? I mean, it took an Englishman to be like, all right, well, come follow me to Jamaica, reggae dudes,
right?
Jamaican mans.
Yeah.
And I was watching a documentary that was saying that even to make it palatable to the American ear, they had to incorporate rock licks into not reggae, Bob Marley's album, right? The Legend album.
Yeah.
They had to incorporate rock licks into his music so that the American people are more accepting to it, at least their ears, right, are more accepting to the kind of music that's being presented to them.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I think, Bob Marley definitely took it to the world. People know his name everywhere. But, it's interesting because I think I learned so much about patois through just reggae music and listening to, artists even before Bob Marley that we're talking, speaking phrases and lines that I had to look up. I'm like, what does this even mean? And I started listening to it more and more. And when I went to Jamaica for the first time to go on a little writing session, it was cool. I felt like I could understand a little bit better than, the average person.
Patois is like the pidgin of Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
It's like English.
Yeah.
English-ish, right?
You got that here in Guam?
No, not
you have
really, right, Matt? I mean,
I definitely hear an accent with locals here.
Yeah,
sure.
There's definitely a really strong accent, but there isn't huh?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's because pidgin is really hard to understand for me. When I go to Hawaii, I'm like, whoa, that guy's speaking pidgin. Okay.
Yeah. What's something that people say here a lot, and then I'll tell you what I think.
I don't know. What do you think, Matt?
I think people say frickin' a lot.
Frickin'?
Right? Back me up. Frickin', I went to...
a lot of people say, you know what I mean.
Know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro. I was at the store, you know what I mean? And we went, this guy came in, you know what I mean? And... See, now you're going to start noticing it now that I brought it up.
I hear people say, man. Like that. I'm trying to think what else. I hope I don't offend anyone.
No, you're not. You're not. You're definitely not. It's common, dude.
Yeah.
We can try and be as proper as we like.
Yeah, yeah.
The local. Someone told me when I go out to the States and when I was living out there for 5 years, they said when I was around people, who lived out in the States, it didn't really come out. But when they see me, the same people I was out there in the States see me with my friends, in the States, like people I grew up with, that's like, dude, your accent changes, your tone of voice changes, you're like a little bit more high pitched,
Right.
you know, and you're totally right. It's freaking
Yeah. I'll think of a few more before this podcast is over, but there's definitely it's definitely an accent here for sure. But I love it. Like that's cool, man. It's cool, man.
So from Slightly Stupid, and then I kind of want to go in that sort of history of California
Sure.
reggae, because like you said, it kind of started boosting. California reggae was really booming when around the time you guys came out, and that's to include Hawaii too. I mean, they're considered California rock, I think, or reggae, right?
Yeah, they have like the Hawaiian influence too. I would say that Iration's influence comes from, and they're good buddies of mine. So, but I would say that they have the Hawaiian influence, but I think they take a lot of just rock influences. Like you said,
Even Tribal Seeds and stuff like that, but they're more rootsy.
Yeah, Tribal Seeds, super rootsy. You know, I would say that the American reggae scene has two influences. One, that's not I don't think is a huge influence on us, is Sublime, like we just talked about. I think they are a huge influence on the sound of reggae influenced music out of, United States. And the other would be roots reggae music,
Okay.
Bob Marley, tons of different artists. And I think that's where we draw most of our influence as far instrumentally.
Okay.
Lyrically, slightly. But it is very fascinating, and the scene has gotten a lot bigger. I mean, now you have festivals. You probably heard of Cali Roots before. We might have talked about this last time too.
I think we did. Yeah.
Yeah. The Cali Roots Festival we've done many times. This upcoming in 2019 will be the 10th
year,
anniversary.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great festival.
Someone told me that you got to come out for the 10th one. So I'm.
Yeah, it's awesome. And bring your equipment. There's a lot of
do a podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe we'll do that West Coast tour in May.
There you go. But there's more. There's this One Love Festival in Long Beach that they announced their lineup, and it's a huge lineup.
There's even Reggae by the River. Right?
Reggae on the River was one of the biggest reggae festivals in the world at one point. It changed names over the years, and different people took over the name, and it changed around. But it's always in Humboldt County,
Right.
And that was primarily just a roots reggae festival. They brought in dance hall as it became popular in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, so it's been around for that long.
Many years.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay.
Many years. And then, now you find, these American reggae influenced festivals all over the country. Florida. Now there's one in Arizona coming up. Washington State, Oregon. It's really just and I'm actually really proud to see the way that it's come up, because I know that we've been, a big influencer in the scene.
Definitely.
Which is really cool.
Because when I was going to college, 2005 to 2010, that was sort of like still the adolescent years of California reggae. As far as the popularity, I mean, even in Tucson, you couldn't even find a reggae concert. You still had like Damian Marley and Nas come through when they did their tour.
Yeah.
But as far as like the smaller names, Groundation came to Tucson, and 50 people showed up, and I was literally like front and center, in front of Homeboy, singing all the songs, and he was like looking at me like, who's this kid?
Yeah. That's awesome.
But I'm sure it's like grown so much more, at least in Arizona, right? And like you said, throughout the whole West Coast. But now there's a difference between East Coast reggae and West Coast reggae, isn't there? At least with sound.
Yeah, the thing is that it wasn't just California that was coming up with that scene. Soja at the time was, I don't know if you heard of Soja before, but they've been to Guam a few times.
Yeah. Out of DC.
Yeah, they're from the DC area, and
they picked up Chris Boomer when they came here. They picked up Chris Boomer.
That's right.
And brought him out there. Yeah, recorded an album and brought him on tour. Yeah,
that's right. And I mean, Soja's another band that was super influenced by, reggae music out of Jamaica, roots reggae music, also probably a little bit of dance hall, and so.
You guys toured with them too, right? Because I remember you guys came to Tucson on that tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny story. We were smoking a joint inside the Rialto. It was the Rialto Theater. And and this guy goes, "I'll pay you $5 for me to hit that joint."
For real?
I was like, "All right." So he gave me $5, and he was hitting it, and the security grabbed his arm and he dragged him out.
Oh, no.
And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go outside for a second."
Poor dude.
Poor dude. Yeah. Then I looked at him. I was like, "I'm so sorry, dude."
But your joint got taken away,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It was already almost done.
Yeah. That's funny.
Where were we at? Sorry, dude. I keep
No,
going on
yeah.
these tangent stories.
Yeah, it's cool to see the way that the scene has come up. Between the influence of roots reggae music, specifically out of Jamaica, and then the Jamaican influenced Sublime that came up with their own kind of style that influenced a lot of bands, in this genre today.
Have you had a chance to listen to the local music that's being put out here on Guam?
Yeah, you mean
out.
the reggae influenced music, or more like
just any of them, just whatever
Definitely.
bands you had a chance to see out,
Yeah, I've
gone
had
out and stuff.
Man, I've had the pleasure of seeing a lot of local musicians here, different restaurants or different coffee shops, and then we just played a little benefit show the other night that you were at,
Right.
with a 4-piece band, and that was awesome. And I've got
those guys have turned reggae on Guam on its head.
It's awesome.
So 4-piece band, they started back in 2012 or 13, and I had just moved back playing at a bar called Kasanami, and just to watch them evolve. And I think JC moved here from Hawaii around 2012, and they, him and Freddie, I forget what their link was, how they linked up, and just to see them evolve and now touring the nation is what?
I had a guy in my band that turned me on to 4-piece. He's like, "Check this out." I was like, "Oh, I go to Guam every now and then, and how come I never heard of these guys?" But they've been touring the United States, and I give them a lot of props because I know it's not easy to just pack up and leave Guam and just
spend
hit the road,
a couple $1,000 ticket, per dude,
and that's not a joke. I mean, it really is a couple $1,000s for a round trip ticket.
Yeah,
maybe even more sometimes.
Yeah, just depending on how close or far you purchase your ticket.
Yeah, luckily I have a lot of miles that I've accumulated over the years.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Are you a million miler yet?
Premier Gold, actually.
Oh, nice. I just got my Premier Silver.
Ooh.
Maybe 2 months ago, and I'm extremely excited about it because now what? I'm not priority boarding 4.
Yeah.
I go up to 2.
Right. There was a Key and Peele skit, I don't know if you saw it, where it said, group number 1, and he thought he was priority, and then there was all these other A, B, C before him, and D, and then children and military, and he ends up being the last group, and it said group 1 on his ticket, but he ends up being the last group to go on. So there's always one group ahead of you, no matter where you are. But back to 4-piece. I mean, I really give them a lot of credit. I know it's not easy to up and leave. It's expensive, and I talked to them at the show, and they said they had such a great time just touring the United States and the mainland. And I think they were Tribal Seeds, and I listened to their album. I really enjoy it. Sounds really good, crisp, clean. Freddie's a great drummer. JC sounds good.
Yeah, man. Something about the dynamic they place on their music. Right, it's almost unsuspecting. What the? I don't even know what I'm trying to say. You don't even expect certain sounds to come out of it. Whether Freddie's hitting the drum, the snare earlier than you would expect it. Because he has a lot of R&B chops, or even church gospel chops, right?
Definitely.
And he applies that to his music, and it just changes the whole dynamic of reggae here on Guam.
Yeah, the band that I played, it was JC, Freddie, and then Zach and on bass, and Kiko on the guitar.
I believe Kiko was only 18 or 19 years old.
Man, it's crazy. He's very talented. And we did a rehearsal for 25 minutes, and then hit the stage, and And of course, everything that happened on stage a couple nights ago, none of that. None of the rehearsal was actually used on stage, for the show. It was all just kind of like spur of the moment, which oftentimes is a great show. Like when you don't plan it and just kind of go and wing it and see what happens. Like some cool stuff happens.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Freddie and Kiko come from the same sort of musical background with the Phoenix Stage Band.
Oh, cool.
So there's this band that's that comes out of the school Mount Carmel, and and I don't know if you've ever seen them play. They're like a 8-9 piece band, right? So that's been going on for many years, and that's sort of where Freddie kind of came out of. And now Kiko, I remember seeing him playing with them, when they were younger kids. I wonder if Kiko is out of high school.
Yeah,
he's out of high school. Yeah,
he's a year younger than me.
Okay. Yeah.
That's awesome. And just like we were saying, super talented people here on Guam that really deserve to be heard. So the John Dank Show seems to be known here on Guam, and they're great musicians. And
they are.
Last night I saw kind of a spin-off of that band, and it's a cover band called Rock Bottom. And
yeah. So a lot of their players were originally Rock Bottom,
right? With
missing a few pieces,
right? Right. Super fun. They I even jumped on stage with them a couple times.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of really talented people on this island.
John T's a shredder. Their guitars, he's a shredder, man.
A really nice guy too.
Yeah, super nice guy.
I was trying to tell him last night. I was like, "Hey, man, you sound great," and he's like, "No, you, Eric, you." And I'm like, this guy's like playing way more complicated stuff than I could. Like I don't think I'm a bad guitar player, but when I see people like that, how much time they put in their instrument, I fully have to give them props because I know how difficult it is. And a lot of people are just like chugging beers and like, oh yeah, I love this song, but they're not actually listening to and looking at what he's doing on guitar or whatever, or what's his name, Danton on bass.
Yeah, Danton, yeah.
And I forget they're all good. They're all
Paulo and
Paulo's his brother, right?
Yeah.
See, I'm a local, man. See, I know all this stuff.
Man, and they're from the next village over. They're all Southern boys.
That's right. So, but yeah, very talented people here that deserve a lot of credit. And it's hard to be a musician on Guam because you gotta
Wow, I'm glad you see that. Yeah,
you gotta play every night basically. My friend Zach, who's on bass the other night, and he's cousins with my girlfriend out here, and he he plays every night, and he plays all sorts of instruments. He plays keys with John Dank. He plays bass for, he's an amazing bass player.
Big Betta, I think, is it?
Yeah, and he plays with another guy that at Proa. They're a duo. He plays guitar and sings, and then he has a ukulele player with him that's phenomenal. I forget his name.
Ryan Imamura? No, not Joe Guam. Joe Guam plays by himself.
I forget, but he plays this electric ukulele that I asked him about it. He said this one company made one for him. There's not a lot of them out there.
Really?
Might be Ryan. Yeah, I don't know. I feel bad that I forget his name, but if he's listening, hey man, I'm really sorry, but you rock on ukulele.
And when he sees your face, he'll know.
Yeah. But it's difficult to do it here. I mean, there's only so many places you could play,
Yeah, before you come saturated. When I used to have a band called the BB Gun Brigade. It was just a for funds band and just a reason for us to play outside of our day jobs and stuff like that. And we were playing 4 nights a week, and that shit gets tough, dude. It's like a bar, a happy hour, a late night, bridal shower, company party.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's just it's just a vicious cycle. Just keep on doing that, and that's I've every time I bring a musician on, at least it's based here out of Guam, I sort of ask them what needs to change, right? Does there need to be a musicians guild to get more better pay, more better? That's a Guam thing, bro. More good, more better.
Yeah.
More best.
No, you're right. I mean, it's hard. There's gotta, can there? I don't know.
Yeah. How do you attack the Asian market, right? We can't exactly be in the U.S. market because it's so big and we're so far, and our closest proximity is Asia, right?
Right.
The new next frontier of all things, even business, and
Right.
now they're trying to bring K-pop over to the United States, K-pop bands, and so they're trying to mesh it, but we sit right in the middle. How do we take advantage of
Yeah.
the sounds that are being shared? Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like I have a moral duty to really expose some of these people, tell you the truth. Like, I've been able to spend a lot of time here. I see like how talented some of these people are.
And
I
a lot of
really-
unappreciated music.
Definitely.
You know?
Definitely.
It's like, dude, you're a 5-star player. How are you only playing in front of 8 people?
Totally. And I think that because they're playing every night, you know, at different spots, like their chops are like prime, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I notice when I'm on tour, you know, midway through the tour and toward the end, man, I'm like, I feel like I'm sitting well on the guitar and my vocals are strong, you know, like the more you play, the more like, you know, your chops really improve. I mean,
Yeah.
you probably noticed that when you were playing too, right?
Yeah, I'm not exactly the best guitar player. I don't like to. I'm more of a singer. But
Yeah.
But yeah, at least the memory comes, and at least for me,
Yeah.
it's easier to sing, and the vocal cords are stretched out properly,
Yeah,
and
right.
it's relaxed, and it doesn't take so much for me to like
Right.
push to hit a certain note, right?
Yeah, the first couple shows on tour are the hardest for me. It's hard to jump right back into it. You know, vocals, guitar. and
Is
then
it
just-
because you don't sing at all while you're not?
Yeah, I really need to be singing more when I'm off the road. But you know, usually before the tour starts, I'll spend like a week and try to just get in shape, basically.
Yeah. Do you do like voice exercises and stuff like
I
that?
do. Yeah, before I hit the stage, I definitely
Like
do voice exercises.
Those sounds. I've never done any voice exercises.
Yeah,
but
like like stupid stuff, you know.
Right,
or
right.
you sound stupid when you're doing it, but it's very good for you. And I noticed the difference as soon as I hit the stage. It's like I'm already 3 songs in by the first song.
I
right?
see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's I'm about to embark on this acoustic tour
I saw that.
in December, and it's kind of like my first solo tour.
Yeah. What's the reason?
Well, I love playing acoustic, and I really wanted to do a tour that was just me, and I wanted to try different things, really design like a set list that was acoustic. So I teamed up with our new guitar player. His name is Kyle Ahern,
Okay.
and he's going to be on the road with me. We're going to be doing 8 shows. 4 of them will be on the East Coast in early December. 4 will be on the West Coast. All the West Coast shows are sold out. I did not know how this would sell because I only announced it from like my own social media, and but they definitely sold really well. So they're gonna be some. The pressure's on for me.
Yeah. What are the size of the venues that you're playing at?
They're like 500, 600 cap venues.
You say that like it's
Well,
I'm just like just me is like, oh, dude, there's gonna be like 20 people there, bro. Hands are getting sweaty.
Yeah. The thing is that with acoustic, if I'm with a full band and I play a wrong note, it's kind of muddled by the rest of the stuff, right?
Right.
But if I'm playing acoustic and I'm, sing a wrong note or play a wrong note, everyone's gonna hear it.
Yeah, I
So-
noticed when you were playing on a couple days ago, you started off with the acoustic set, and then you went with the full band, and you can see the you were trying much harder to. I feel like that's the wrong word. You were more aware of the way you were playing when you were playing acoustic.
Yeah.
Like you were trying to. There was like a lead that you had looped, and you were trying to play, like jump onto that sort of higher harmonic lead, right?
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I can see your face, like, oh, you're trying to like catch it, right? And
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You got to be perfectly on time, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this tour. I got like a little loop station that I'm going to use, not the whole set, but at certain times, and some special guests. And the entire tour is all the money, all the ticket sales are going straight to 8 or 9 charitable organizations. And my girlfriend here is from Umatic. She's a Southern girl.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the organizations that I decided to donate to is the Umatic Coral Reef.
Okay. Yeah. That's by
Foundation.
Dr. Austin Shelton. I think he's one of the spearheads of that sort
cool.
of effort, right? Because
Yeah,
there's a lot of erosion coming down and covering the coral reef. And it's a lot of the burning from hunting, right? So when there's no vegetation, the soil becomes loose, and then when it rains, all that soil
runs off
into the river, and then when it hits the ocean, the mouth of the river into the ocean, all that sediment sits on the coral and it kills, it suffocates the coral.
Oh, wow. And they burn the vegetation to try to bring out the deer and pig and stuff like that for hunting.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah. For me, it was kind of a no-brainer to pick that organization because my first real authentic Chamorro experience was when I went down to Umatic 10 years ago, and I played at what do they call it? Discovery Day.
Okay. Yeah.
And
that's their fiesta.
It's actually not their fiesta.
Oh, no. It's the yeah.
But
sorry.
Yeah, no,
You're right.
It's just a day of
when Magellan landed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I got on stage there in Umatic, and I played for the people 10 years ago just by myself, and I was just like, this is such a cool experience. I got to really just get that local experience. So I really wanted to give back, to Guam, but also specifically that region. But there's a few other charitable organizations that I picked along with the openers. I picked organizations as well. So a girl named Hyrie is going to open up for me on the West Coast, and then on the East Coast, Ted, from the lead singer from Pacifier, is going to open up those 4 shows. So it's cool. I mean, we're expecting a really hyped crowd. I hope they're not too hyped because it's going to be kind of mellow at times, the acoustic style. But I guess we'll wait and see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting sort of experience.
I mean, I've literally never done this before, so I'm excited.
Well, I can guarantee you this: it won't start off with one guy dancing right in the middle in front of you.
Right.
And then a whole bunch of people also dancing.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be a cha-cha dance floor.
Yeah.
When that guy came up, I was like, he looks like a crazy man, but he's about to start the party.
Totally. Yeah. You got to love those people, right?
Yeah. So I can definitely guarantee you that, but I'm sure it'll do well, dude. I mean, really? you have a huge following out there.
I'm super excited. I feel like the people that are coming out are some real diehard Rebelution and Eric fans. So I'm gonna do a lot of Rebelution songs, but also some covers and a couple of Unified Highway songs, which we talked about last time. It's a side project of mine that I think you guys had just discovered before I came in, right?
Yeah, I discovered. I don't know how long Matt's been listening to
okay.
Highway.
Okay.
But he was like, "You ever?"
Oh yeah. Matt was like, "Check this out," right?
Yeah.
So
I was like, "What? He does hip hop?"
Yeah, right.
Are you gonna bring the same guy out to help you play some of those Unified songs, or is it just?
No, it'll be acoustic renditions of it.
Okay.
So, yeah, just me and Kyle are playing acoustic, so it'll be cool. Excited.
Oh yeah, man. How long have we been going here, Matt?
Hour and 6 minutes.
Wow, time flies by.
Yeah. It's sort of a common theme for this podcast, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I told you earlier, it's sort of you kind of develop a craft, right? And things are happening that forces you, or not even forces you, just makes you want to fine tune it and make it better and better and better. And just the fact that I've had you on this show twice already, I would have never guessed, bro. When I first started listening to you, I would have never guessed you'd be sitting here in my fucking dining room having a conversation with me, like we've known each other. I feel like I've known you for the last 10 years. So,
I mean, honestly, it's a no-brainer to come back in here. I mean, I just love chatting with you guys. we always have, good conversations. And, since I saw you last, I've been to Guam a few times now.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
and I
yeah.
plan on being here a lot more. So hopefully we do this again.
Yeah,
Continue
for sure, dude. Now now that you're with a local girl, you know that when you're with a local girl, you're also with the local girl's family, right?
Right.
That's just a common understanding of whenever you date somebody from Guam.
Right.
It's she comes with a whole baggage of cousins and aunts and uncles and grand uncles.
Man,
and
there's a lot of
aunts
them.
and grandmas and grandpas, dude. So, it's and it's something also I would have never thought ever. For people don't realize that you being here is special. It's a special thing, man. You know what I mean? Because this place is special to us, and a lot of us have been listening to you for a very long time, dude. And just the fact that you're walking around here like a commoner, is unreal. It's almost like surreal, right?
Oh man,
So,
it's cool. I really feel like I feel really accepted among this community. I know it's tight knit, and I know that I have a lot of respect for the people here. I have a lot of respect for the musicians here. There's a lot of reasons to love this island, and there's still so much for me to explore and to understand.
yeah. How long you been sort of doing your exploration?
Let's see. Well, I've been here for about 9 days. I leave tomorrow to go back home and start getting ready for this tour.
Right.
But I'll be back in January again for a few weeks.
Okay. Well, that's a little longer than 9 days.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
That's enough time to just unwind after the tour. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But
yeah. I mean, do you want to put out like dates that you're gonna be places and stuff, at least for the shows that aren't sold out?
yeah.
And
Yeah, I could definitely do that.
the-
Let's see. December 1st to the 4th is New York, Washington D.C., Philadelphia, and Boston. New York is sold out. Boston, Philly, and D.C. still have a little bit of tickets left, but they'll go pretty fast. So definitely hop on that if you're listening from out there. And then the West Coast shows are sold out. But I think this is something I'm going to continue to do, acoustic shows, and every year I like to do like a charitable run. So this is something it's going to keep on happening.
Oh yeah. Does touring get stressful for you?
It does. The lifestyle is tough because you're typically on a bus and waking up in a new place. You don't have your own bed. You don't know where the bathroom is. You don't know when you're going to get to a bathroom. You don't know, you share a bus with 10 other guys, so there's lots of germs. You got to take good care of your health. But the actual performance part of it's super fun. I love that. I love to express myself. I love getting on stage. I love hearing the crowd sing back to me. That stuff will never get old. I mean, and that's why like even just playing at a coffee shop for like 1 or 2 people that are like really listening to you just makes it worth it. Like that's such a rush. It's such a good feeling. So I enjoy that part.
Yeah, I saw you played at sorry, I know I keep trying to end it, but I keep bringing
No.
stuff. I saw you play an acoustic at a record store in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and it was just I was freaking out at the crowd just all the way back.
Oh
the whole
yeah.
entire record store, and I was like, damn, dude. And I was like, this guy can fill up places with acoustic.
Right.
And now that you're saying that you're gonna do an acoustic show, it all makes sense, right?
Yeah, I'm pumped. I mean, we've done a couple albums where we did acoustic versions of the album,
Mm-hmm.
and the first time we did that was a Peace of Mind album. We did a dub version, an acoustic version, and then the regular version. It was like a triple release, and a lot of people really enjoy the acoustic stuff. So this is gonna be the first time we're taking it on the road, and so I think a lot of the diehards will be there. It'll be cool.
Well, Eric, thank you, dude. I look forward to our next conversation. You can come on as often as you like.
Right on. Thanks, bro.
I don't care if there's only a month or two.
Let's do it.
Continue this conversation, dig deeper into even if it's out of music, right? I mean, these past two conversations is sort of like stayed in the music realm. I would really love to pick your brain as far as like mental, how you take care of your mental and stuff like that. But
Definitely.
we'll save it for next time.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
All right,
Thank you everybody for listening. Eric Rachmany on the podcast. Oh man, I'm excited to just see you like just walking around normally. Like, yeah, that's Eric. That's Eric, dude. Eric
Yeah.
at the venue, just chilling.
Saying friggin'.
Friggin'.
Hey man, I gotta friggin' go, dude.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Peace out.
Right on, man. That's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's always.